Valmiki Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, Book number 2, Sarga 74, Roman numerals, LXXIV 74, Bharat's anger. When Bharat's anger sharpened tongue, reproaches on the queen had flung, again with mighty rage possessed, the guilty dame he thus addressed: "Flee, cruel, wicked sinner, flee! Let not this kingdom harbour thee. Thou who hast thrown all right aside, win thou for me when I have died. Canst thou one charge against the king, or the most duteous Rama bring? The one thy sin to death has sent, the other chased to banishment. Our line's destroyer, sin defiled, like one who kills an unborn child. Ne'er with thy Lord in heaven to dwell, thy portion shall be down in hell. Ne'er with thy Lord in heaven to dwell, thy portion shall be down in hell. Because thy hand that stayed for naught this awful wickedness has wrought, and ruined him who all held dear, my bosom too is stirred with fear. My father by thy sin is dead, and Rama to the wood is fled. And of thy deed I bear the stain, and fameless in the world remain. Ambitious, evil-souled, in show, my mother, yet my direst foe. My throning ne'er thine eyes shall bless, thy husband's wicked murderess. Thou art not Ashwapati's child, that righteous king, most sage and mild, but thou wast born a fiend, a foe, my father's house to overthrow. Thou who hast made Kaushalya pure, gentle, affectionate, endure the loss of him who was her bliss. What worlds await thee, queen, for this? Was it not patent to thy sense that Rama was his friend's defense, Kaushalya's own true child most dear, the eldest and his father's peer? Men in the son not only trace the father's figure, form, and face, but in his heart they also find the offspring of the father's mind. And hence, though dear their kinsmen are, to mothers' sons are dearer far. There goes an ancient legend how good Surabi, the God-loved cow, saw two of her dear children strain, drawing a plough, and faint with pain. She saw them on the earth outworn, toiling till noon from early morn, and as she viewed her children's woe, a flood of tears began to flow. As through the air beneath her swept the Lord of gods, the drops she wept, fine, laden with delicious smell, upon his heavenly body fell. And Indra lifted up his eyes, and saw her standing in the skies, afflicted with her sorrow's weight, sad, weeping, all disconsolate. The Lord of gods, in anxious mood, thus spoke in suppliant attitude. No fear disturbs our rest, and how comes this great dread upon thee now? Whence can this woe upon thee fall? Say, gentle one, who lovest all. Thus spake the god who rules the skies, Indra, the Lord supremely wise, and gentle Surabi, well learned in eloquence, this speech returned. Not thine the fault, great God, not thine, and guiltless are the Lords divine. I mourn two children faint with toil, laboring hard in stubborn soil. Wasted and sad I see them now, while the sun beats on neck and brow. Still goaded by the cruel hand, by the cruel hind, no pity in his savage mind. O Indra, from this body sprung, these children worn with many a pang. O Indra, from this body sprang, these children worn with many a pang. For this sad sight I mourn, for none is to the mother like her son. He saw her weep, whose offspring feed thousands over hill and mead, and knew that in a mother's eye not with a son for love can vie. He deemed her when the tears that came from her sad eyes bedewed his frame, laden with their celestial scent of living things most excellent. If she these tears of sorrow shed, who many a thousand children bred, think what a life of woe is left, Kaushalya of her Rama reft. An only son was hers, and she is rendered childless now by thee. Here and hereafter, for thy crime, woe is thy lot through endless time. And now, O Queen, without delay, with all due honor will I pay, both to my brother and my sire, the rites their several fates require. Back to Ayodhya will I bring the long-armed chief, her lord and king, and to the wood myself betake, where hermit saints their dwelling make. For sinner both in deed and thought, this hideous crime which thou hast wrought, I cannot bear or live to see the people's sad eyes bent on me. Begone, to Dandak wood retire, or cast thy body to the fire, or bind around thy neck the rope. No other refuge mayst thou hope. When Rama, Lord of valor true, has gained the earth, his right and due, then free from duties binding debt, my vanished sin shall I forget. Thus, like an elephant forced to brook the goading of the driver's hook, quick panting like a serpent maimed, he fell to earth with rage inflamed. Wow. Absolutely love it. This absolutely beautiful poetic British translation of Ramayana, 17th century. How did I have time to translate so beautifully? And nobody is paying attention to this, except for few. Wow, absolutely beautiful. Bharat is so angry at his mother, Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi, wow. The third, the youngest wife of King Dasharatha and the most attractive, the most beautiful one. And just the unfolding of the story is so amazing. Bharat calls her all kinds of names. So it seems like everybody knew that Kaikeyi was somewhat selfish from the very get-go, from the very beginning. Everybody knew her nature. So there has to be some few, protagonists who incite things to happen. It's all for the purpose of the manifesting the eternal pastime of Ramayana. Because when God appears on this earth with his beautiful goddess wife Sita Devi, they are both super beautiful. Just like people, they have tendency to watch beautiful stars, Hollywood stars, supposedly beautiful, relatively beautiful, but nothing in comparison to Rama and Sita. So this tendency to watch beautiful forms can be fully realized by remembering Rama and Sita rather than some cow eaters in Hollywood. So this is Ramayana, the pastimes of God, 1.5 million years ago, when God Himself walked this earth as if an ordinary man, although He exhibited super uncommon, super uncommon, and supremely beautiful pastimes that to this day are being recited and chanted. Well, that tells you that this kind of dedication to the tradition, to that history, it has some it has some meaning, it has some weight to it. And instead of watching Ramayana, we are watching literally fools making stupid movies and eating cows just to show you how much they hate God, and making movies full of perversion, violence, rape, gun glorification, and then they are, doing so many political other things. That's the Kali Yuga. That's the Kali Yuga. And the only way to counteract Kali Yuga is to remember God. God is not some invisible sky daddy. And he is not alone. He has a queen, beautiful goddess, and he is beautiful, and he and she perform beautiful, transcendental, eternal pastimes to attract conditioned souls back to the eternal kingdom, to the spiritual sky, absolute world, rather than being in the material world, which is full of misery, so many problems, so many problems here, as you can see. Anyway, beautiful Ramayana. Jai Shri Ram. Hail Ram. Roma Victa. Victory to Ram. Ciao.